Hi, welcome to my page. I am Cindy with Cindy's Crafty Creations. Today I'm going to make a little chick craft. So I will show you what I'm going to use. First of all, I'm going to use this tray from Dollar Tree. If you look along the edges, it has like little detail. I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to use 3 of these chick wood cutouts from Dollar Tree. And then I have some different scrapbook papers I'm going to use. And then I have some fabric that I'm going to make a little hanger with. And then I have some Scrabble letters that I already pulled out that says Chicks Dig It. And that's what we're going to put on it. So I'm going to start off by painting my tray, and I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint in the color of moss, and this is I get at Walmart. So let's get started. We'll get this painted and then we'll move on. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing okay. My arm's been bugging me. I'm hoping I didn't tear my rotor cuff again. That's not going to be fun. Just got back from vacation. That was a lot of fun. It was a good time. We went to Branson, Missouri. We got there, let's see, on a Saturday. We left on a Friday, well, we left on Thursday and we stayed at our campground on Thursday night, and then we took off Friday afternoon. We went and had lunch with my mom before we took off, and then I'm going to dry this. I'm going to dry this with a heat gun that I got from Harbor Freight. You can get these at any hardware store. If you don't have a heat gun, hair dryer works just as well. Or they have craft dryers that's like a long cylinder. So let me dry this. So we left on Friday afternoon and it was storming. It was going to storm like partway down, so we ended up driving up into we kept watching the radar, and finally we just said, you know what, enough's enough. We're just gonna stop. So we ended up stopping in Effingham, Illinois, and we got a hotel for the night. We went out to eat, filled our bellies up, and then the next morning we got up and they had a complimentary breakfast, so we went down, we ate that, and then we got back on the road. And we drove to St. Louis, Missouri, and All right, I have some other stuff to do, so I'm going to set this off to the side, let it dry a little bit on its own. We drove to St. Louis, and my daughter is getting into photography, so she's like, hey, can we stop at the St. Louis Arch? And we're like, sure. So we did that, and we were going to go up inside the arch, my daughter and I. My husband's like, there's no way. So but then when we got in there and we seen how small the pod was, I'm like, there's no way. My husband got in because they have a pod in the museum part of it. The museum's actually free. I think it cost us like $15 to park in the parking lot, but then the museum was free, and my daughter and I had planned on going up, but then we got in there and seen the pod, and I'm like, there's no way. Absolutely no way. I'm just tracing these out. So we ended up just we went through the museum. That was nice. And they had a little display that showed you, like, if you were at the top, what you would see and stuff. So, I mean, it was kind of nice, but the pods were just so small, I just couldn't. I mean, I'm claustrophobic to begin with, so when I seen how small that pod was, I was like, no way. My husband got in the pod, and they're circular, so he just sit, because in the museum they have one on display that you can test out to see if you could even handle it. So my husband got in it, and he's like, first thing, as soon as he sit down, he hit his head. Because it's rounded and it's so small. He's like, forget that. And then, I forgot to put my little dot at the bottom. So we ended up not going up because I just couldn't do it. My daughter's like, no way. That is too tall. I'm not going. So we ended up not going to the top. I wish we would have had the guts to do it, but none of us did. And from here, talking to other people, I'm kind of glad we didn't go. Because they said it's beautiful, the view's beautiful up there, but the pods are tight, and it's tight at the top. Like when you're driving by the arch, you don't realize there's windows at the top. Well, when we got out and walked up there, you could actually see the windows. I wish I wasn't claustrophobic. But so then after we left St. Louis, that's all we did there. We just got out and checked out the museum, and then we headed out because it was starting to rain again. And then we went on to Pacific, Missouri, which is where the original Bigfoot is actually from. And this is their 50th year. And they have a couple trucks on display outside. There's the one that has, I think, what is it, the 5-foot tire? It's probably taller than that. What am I thinking? I can't remember. The tires are so big, like my husband and my daughter were like standing inside the rim of the tire. So they have that one on display at one of the stores there in town. And then up by the police department, they have another one on display. And so we went and checked those out because my husband is a huge Bigfoot fan. He actually, the last time we were down there, he actually got to get up in the original Bigfoot and sit in it. He was just like on cloud 9. He loved it. I mean, that's all we heard all day was, did you guys see that? It's like, yes, we seen it. We seen it. He was like driving us crazy all day with it, but it was awesome that he got to sit up in it. That was cool. And then, so we just went and seen those trucks because the Bigfoot, their garage was closed, so you couldn't go in there. And then, let's see, we started heading towards Branson, and we ended up stopping at Buc-ee's in Springfield, Missouri, which is probably about just under an hour from Branson. And that's always a good time. My husband got the brisket sandwich. What did my daughter get? My daughter wanted a sandwich, but she didn't want all the sauce on it, and they wouldn't make her one special, so that was kind of a bummer. But, so she ended up getting some chicken tenders. We didn't even realize they had chicken tenders there. But it was a box, and it had chicken tenders and fries. And there was enough fries in there, we could have all shared it. The one time we went there, they had salt and pepper, like fresh chips that they made. This time we grabbed them thinking they were the same thing. Well, these didn't have any, they didn't put no salt and pepper on them. They were just like plain. So they was not very good at all. And then my husband got the brisket. My daughter got those. And then I got a chicken sandwich, which was delicious. And then they have pouches of different kinds of pickles you can get. I got like a garlic one. And then we tried the candied ones. My daughter and husband wasn't crazy about the candied ones, but I thought they were okay. I like pickles though. And then because I like eating pickles with my chicken. I don't know why. I like them on my chicken sandwiches. So, I'm trying to find somewhere to sit that for right now. What? Okay. And then, of course, we got the beaver nuggets. Can't leave without those. Several people wanted us to pick them up some, so we got a few bags of those. And then we ate our sandwiches in the car because if you've ever been to Buc-ee's, there's nowhere to sit and eat. You got to just either eat in your car or stand outside. So we just got back in the car. My husband did most of the driving, but it was before I drove us to Buc-ee's. So we had stopped for gas and he was like really tired. So I was like, I'll just take over. Well, at this point, it's like raining. They had warnings that roads are flooded. So you really had to watch. And I'm thinking when they said roads are flooded that there was like water over the road. Well, we never seen any of that. But I was driving at one point and it just was downpouring hard. So, of course, I let off. I wasn't even doing close to the speed limit. And I get to the bottom of a mountain. And I seen a little bit of water on the road, but it didn't look like anything that would make you hydroplane or anything. And it was, because it was raining so hard, I mean, I had both fists on the wheel. I was having to hold the car hard because the wind was blowing. It was horrible. So I get to the bottom of this mountain and I hit this little bit of water that normally you would think a car could go through. I mean, I've went through stuff like that several times. Well, this time it decides it's going to try to hydroplane. So I like flipped out. I had a hold of that steering wheel so hard, and it's probably a good thing I did, because if I would have just had it like one-handed it or something, we would have wrecked for sure. But luckily I was able to keep it under control, and my husband's like, this is too much. You need to just pull over and let me take over. I said, that was really scary. I said, but it's letting up now. I said, I'll be fine. I said, just go back to sleep and I'll be fine. So I ended up, I still drove, but my hands were just like shaking, my whole body. I was so scared. That scared me so bad. But it all worked out. We made it there safe. I didn't care for the drive. Once we were in Branson, I didn't like where the resort was, like the roads to get there. It was kind of crazy. I mean, there was no shoulder. If you went off, you went off. 'Cause it was crazy. All right. Now I'm just putting Mod Podge on. This little Mod Podge I just got from Dollar Tree. I have a big container from Walmart, and I really like the little ones because you can just squirt a little bit. So I usually just take that big one and dump it in those little ones. Okay, so there's like my first chick. Let me get some more on here. But there's one theater down there where we bought season passes, because if you're there for any amount of time, I mean, we bought like season passes for we bought them last year, but they were good for this year too, which was really nice. And so we're like, well, we're down here a lot. We'll just get the season ticket, and then we can go to as many shows as we want at that theater. So that's what we did, and we probably had it paid for in the right when we bought it last year. And since it was still good, we went to a few of the shows this time there. They have on a Sunday morning, they have a gospel, like a Ozark country gospel. They are amazing. It's two sisters and a brother, and he's legally blind, and he's a preacher, and they are just amazing. They are so good. We try to go to that one when we're down there, if we're there for that time slot, but... And then that's like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I think it's in the evening they have an Ozark Country, which is like country music and stuff and comedy, and those two ladies are in that one. Their brother's not in that one, but it's the two ladies, and then they do other stuff, and it's really fun. We always have a good time down there. All right, so I got my chicks made. Let's see if this is dry. Get this sticker off of the bottom. I'm going to sand this just a little bit. Okay, I went ahead and sanded it off of, I paused it and sanded it so you didn't have to listen to it. Okay, let me get these little poke these holes between their feet. Let me get my X-Acto knife. Get this stuff. Just getting a little bit. I went a little crazy. All right. My X-Acto knife and get these right between their feet cut out. See how it has the little, now it looks like feet down there. So we just went to a bunch of shows down there. We stayed at a resort, and they gave us some stuff for staying with them. Couple shows, and then like a voucher to eat. So we went to a really good barbecue place down there. The food was so delicious. It was Famous Dave's. So if you're ever in that area, check it out. It's amazing food. All right. I'm going to try to go around these little chicks a little bit just to get the excess scrapbook paper off. So I'm going to pause you while I'm doing that so you don't have to listen to me. Okay, I just used a sanding sponge, like to go around the edges and get the extra paper off. If you don't have a sanding sponge, you can use a piece of sandpaper. You can use a nail file. Anything will take it off. All right, so I think I'm going to get these glued in here. I just don't know if I like that with the... Let me get some E6000. Let me get this open. Sometimes your cap on your E6000 will be hard to get off. I just use a pair of needle nose and it pops it right open. All right. Let me see where I want these. All right about there. So I'm going to put some E6000 on here, and then I'm going to put some hot glue. And then while we were down there, because my daughter's so into photography, we went to, it had rained so much that they had to open up the floodgates at the dam. So we went and checked out the Table Rock Dam down there. And they had 10 gates, but they only had 9 of them open. But that water was flowing. And that was beautiful to see. That was really neat. I took some videos of, I'm going to have to get put on, but. And then we went to Table Rock Lake and watched the sunset. My daughter's so into sunsets. It's crazy. And that was a lot of fun. The beach part of it was closed, obviously, because it's too cold to swim. So we just went like over by the boat where they put the boats in, the boat dock, and or the boat launch. We went over there, and a lot of them were getting their boats out because it was getting dark, obviously, because the sun was getting ready to set. And so we waited on all them to get their boats out, and then we ended up watching the sunset. And that was really pretty over the mountains. Excuse me. But there's so much to do down there. We ended up going on they have a boat tour down there where you get on this thing. It's like a bus chassis, they said. And they cut it out and they make like where you drive it on land and then it drive it right into the water. There's the chicks so far. I'm going to put some eyes on these things because they look kind of weird without them. I'm just going to use one of my paint markers. But we rode that. And that was a lot of fun. I think it could have been better if they'd have had a different person doing the like talking and stuff. He was a little, wasn't crazy about him. I'm trying to get my Scrabble letters because we're going to put Chicks Dig It on here. So, let's see. All right. I'm going to put a tiny drop of E6000 on the back of these. And then I'm going to put some hot glue and we'll get them glued on. Just putting a little dab. A little dab will do ya. And then, let's see. If I put this one. This one should be in the middle. Gotta hold it up. I'm gonna get these on here and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm on my last letter. So when we were on the boat tour, it went down by the landing in Branson, which down at the landing they have this, it's like the Bellagio. It has the fountain that plays music. Like they play music and then the fountain like shoots and the cannons and everything shoot off like flames and stuff to the, there's Chicks Dig It, to the music. Okay, I'm going to make some twine little bows for their necks. So we're just going to do this. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, wrap it 3 times. Whoop. Tie it. Well, normally we walk down to the landing, which the landing is actually like an outdoor mall. Oops. Hang on. It's like an outdoor mall, and there's like all kinds of shops and stuff there. So normally we walk down there and we watch the water display like while we're down there. Well, this time we got to see it from the water side on this boat, and it was like, that was so cool. Like seeing the other side of it. So that was kind of neat. Let's see. We'll just make one for each of them, and then I'll trim them up. So it's kind of neat seeing that from that side. And then before we left to come home, we ended up going down and watching it from the other side. And if you ever get a chance to go at Christmas time, November 1st, I believe it's November 1st, Branson puts all their Christmas displays out. Oh, I don't know what happened here. They put all their Christmas displays out, and it's out until January. And they have this gigantic tree. And it is just so cool. So cool. You have to go down to the landing at Christmas time. You just have to. It's so neat down there. The whole town's neat. And there's shows at Christmas time. They do like their one half will be their normal show. And then the other half will be Christmas. I don't know what is going on with these things. So it's kind of neat because you get to see like their normal stuff, and then you also get to see a little bit of Christmas, and that it's like a 2-for-1. It's great. All right, there's 2. Let me get one more. Hang on. This thing's being stubborn. Get a little piece to tie it. I love using twine for bows. I like using buttons. I'm a button girly. I bought a huge thing of buttons off of Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. They have come in so handy. Oh, pulled the wrong one, darn it. All right, get these trimmed off of here. All right. Let me get these. All right, so let me trim these up a little bit. So they're not so long. Whoops. Darn it. All right, let me get these glued on here. There's one. There's two. And there's the third one. So there's kind of what I got. Chicks dig it. And then I think I'm going to take these. I just ripped off off of a fat quarter from Dollar Tree a couple fabrics. I think I'm going to. I just did 4 strips. I'm going to take 2 of them. And then I'm going to take the other 2. And I'm just going to kind of twist them together to make a hanger. So, let's see. We can hold that. And I'm thinking of making that the hanger. Let's see. See if I want that or just twine. Let me look. Now I'm debating. I kind of like the twine because I think it goes with the twine on their bows. So let's just do the twine. All right. Let me tie a couple knots in here. Just so I got something to... Maybe I'll put a piece of this yellow fabric on the back just to help. Need my fabric scissors. All right. So let me get some E6000. See, I don't know if I want to do. Let's just do it right there on the edge. That'd probably be easiest. Some hot glue. Take a strip of this. I don't think I need, I think I can cut this in half. I don't need it very big. right. Now let's see. About right there. Let me tie a knot in this side. But if you ever get a chance to go to Branson, Missouri, we absolutely love it there. It's like our home away from home. Seriously. I don't think I want it that long. Let's do right there. Where's my little piece? I ended up cutting my knot off, but that's okay. I just didn't want it that long. Got glue everywhere. Okay, let me see. All right, so this is what I have. I'm not going to pick it up by the hanger because it's still drying. But I'll go over what I used, and then I'll get you guys out of here. I used a silver tray from Dollar Tree. It has like the little detail on the edges. I used 3 chick wood cutouts from Dollar Tree. I added some scrapbook paper. The scrapbook paper is from Hobby Lobby. And then I added little twine bows to each of them. I just took my paint marker and added some eyes. I took some Scrabble letters and spelled out Chicks Dig It. And that's what I got. The eyes look like they need something. Let me see if I can add some eyelashes or something to it without messing it up. I think the first one I messed up, but it'll be okay. It'll work. All right. That's a little better. And then I just added a twine hanger. And that's what I got for today. So thanks for watching. If you guys like my crafts, please subscribe. I would love to have some new followers. But that's what I got for today, and I will be putting more videos on. And I also have a FB page, so you can go check that out also. I do some lives on there. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will post more videos later. Bye, guys.